game's been played for a long time. A lot on the line in the state of Oregon. Bragging rights, Jesse, for a whole year.
I feel like it's one of the rivalries in college football that maybe a lot of people don't talk about or really know about. But if you've ever been around this game and you know about the tradition and the...
Turning it on! Brought down at the 31 after a pickup of 10 yards on that one.
Really nice job there by the quarterback understanding it's blitz, and not just that it's blitz, but knowing whether it's man coverage or zone coverage behind the blitz. You still got to know where your answer is going to be based on what the defense is doing in the back end, and he add the answer to the test right there.
He'll work and weave his way all the way up to the 45 before going out of bounds.
Man, this guy is so dynamic, and that's why you want to try to get him the ball as many ways as you can. That time, it's a screen throw. He had some nice blocks downfield, but with his speed and elusive running ability, this dude is dangerous.
Moore to the air. Got him downfield. Crosses the 30, he's going. This defense giving up ground as he's finally knocked down at the 26. You always have to be aware of the running threat from the Oregon quarterbacks, but here getting business done through the air.
No doubt, Reese, because you're worried about his legs, the read game, all the stuff they can do. It opens up the passing attack. And I think when you've seen the Ducks teams throughout history, the ones that have enough balance to keep you off guard, keep you guessing, are the ones that are the best teams.
Going up top again. Got it in the middle. It's Benson. And that defense is all over that one. No room to run after the catch.
Well, they execute the end route, and how about the arm strength by the QB? That was an absolute bullet on that completion.
Handoff to the single running back. To the 10, and to the end zone, and you race it to the house. Touchdown, Ducks!
And after that touchdown, you can barely hear yourself think. Autzen Stadium, one of the most special places in all of college football, and easily one of the loudest stadiums, is now going off. We've all called games here before. We love coming to Eugene. This place is magic, and it's because of these fans.
They're ready to kick it away, and this crowd is buzzing after that last score. It bounds through the back of the end zone, and it'll be a touchback. This crowd going to try to make life miserable for these guys. Looking for space. It's Hankerson. Oh, he's got some space. Made a defender miss. He's at the 10, and he just kept running, and he ran away from the crowd, and he'll take it in. Touchdown, Oregon State.
Man, this guy is such a weapon because he's so dangerous if he gets into the second level. Great vision, and then David shows you the speed.
Just straight wheels, erasing angles. A lot of times when you're chasing guys that are so fast like this, you're like, I got him, I got him. No, I do not. What a big, long touchdown run. Pad those stats, young fella.
Extra point here will tie the game. And he puts through the extra point. That kind of drive will boost your confidence. One play, hit the big pass, put a touchdown on the board. They're coming out to tee it up for the kickoff, and that last score was a real buzzkill for this crowd. He'll bring it out. It's Stewart. He only needs a sliver of daylight. Oh, what vision. And there he goes. He will score. Touchdown, Oregon. No guts, no glory. Caught it in the end zone. Didn't hesitate for a millisecond to take that thing back, and boy, did it pay off.
And this is why kickoff returns are so exciting. There's so much space between you and the other team flying down the field. The only time you're going to be provided that much space, and you could tell he knew what to do with that space. Kicked on the Jets by Felicia.
Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. The ball squirts through the end zone. That'll be a touchback. They'll bring it out to the 25. The drive starts from their own 25-yard line. On the option, quarterback on the keeper. He'll pitch it, and the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play.
Well, after ripping off a big-time run on his opening carry, a negative play this time around, and this is going to be key. They're going to keep giving him the ball, and they need him to have more positive plays than negative ones if they're going to win.
Looking downfield, it's Murphy. Fires to the big fella. This is the kind of run that falls in the category of sanctioned violence as he's up to the 31.
Well, a nice completion there, finding the tight end. And what's so beautiful about that is while they didn't get the first, they were able to pick up enough yards now to make the third down manageable, really putting this offense in a good position.
Grab behind the line. It's Hankerson. Love to see these third down conversions on offense, and they're out to their own 39-yard line. The Beavers will have it 1st and 10. Wants to go up top on 1st down. Caught over the middle. It's Clemens. They stop him just short of the 1st down, but it will be 2nd and inches coming up.
And that's a situation right there where the quarterback is just taking what the defense gives him. The defense is taking everything away down the field. Just take the easy throw underneath.
The Beavers have their whole playbook open here on 2nd and inches. They finally get a hold of him, knocking him down behind the line of scrimmage. He had been running wild.
Yeah, you just feel like the running back's asking for redemption on that one. You know, 2nd and short, and you're giving him the football. He can't get the first himself. Now it's 3rd down. He's looking over on the sideline like, call it again, throw me the ball, I can go do this. It's never a good feeling for the running back.
Quarterback feeling that pressure, and he's knocked down at the 42.
And a great job by the defense, dropping in zone coverage, all eyes on the quarterback, taking away the options, and then finally the pass rush gets home, gets him on the ground.
Hunt is on its way. And nobody able to field that punt as it rolls out of bounds. This drive will commence from their own 11-yard line. The give to the lone running back. Finds a little bit of space. He'll get 3 out to the 15.
And I kind of like how the running back didn't mess around. Like, just get downhill when you see an opening. A lot of times they close so fast, man. Be decisive, stick your foot in the ground, pick up 3 to 4, and we are not going to complain.
Just ran him over. He's brought down, but it'll be enough for a 1st down. No matter what uniform the Ducks are rocking, they are dressed for success on the ground.
And that's who they are, right? They're dressed for success. They run the football, and then after that, what do? They run it some more, and they run it fast. Every Oregon team always been built on that tempo and ground game.
Picked up 2 yards on that last one. They need 8 on 2nd down. Moore will throw. Scrambling away. Cannot get away. It is a huge sack, and I can't imagine what he was thinking on that play. Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. He'll do it himself on the draw. He is denied. Cannot get to the 1st down marker, and it's 4th down coming. The Ducks will punt it away on 4th down. They'll have to boot it away for the first time tonight. He's brought down, but a really solid effort to pick up every bit of yardage he could on the punt return. So the first play of the drive, starting here from the 45. On the ground, it's Hankerson. And he'll pick up one. It brings up 2nd and 9.
You definitely want to commit to the run game. You want to establish the run game. You want the defense to honor it. But if it doesn't work a little later down the road, you might think about airing that puppy out.
Didn't get much on first down. It's 2nd and 9. Looking to fire. They're setting up the screen. Not a whole lot of room there on that screen pass as it just never developed.
Yeah, and you're going to see this offense find different ways to get this running back involved. It's not just going to be on handoffs, and they're certainly going to line him up in different places and even throw him the football. But the screen game's a big part of it, too. They're trying to get him going now.
He's got it. Really nice pickup on that one as they get it to the 36. It'll be first down.
And that's really got to make this offensive coordinator feel good. You get a completion on a big third down early in the game, and that should give him a lot of confidence calling plays this game.
As they get set to snap it, just about to reach the end of the quarter. From the gun, they'll try to impose their running game. And here's the tackle at the line of scrimmage, and that'll send us to the second quarter. Lots of time left and ready to go back at it here in the second quarter. Quick timeout call by the offense after the play.
Timeout, Oregon State.
Had a chance to talk it over during the break, and they'll start with 2nd down. Looking to throw, it's Murphy. Makes the catch. No chance to run, but they still move it forward.
And if you had any questions about this quarterback's arm talent, now you've got your answer. Wow.
The power of Autzen Stadium on full display. The house of loud is deafening on this third down. Oh, they really could have used that catch there. Physical pass defense. It brings up a 4th down.
Well, they were trying to sneak him out of the backfield that time into the passing game, but that did not fool anybody on defense. What a hit, forcing that incompletion.
They'll try to quiet this crowd by moving the sticks on 4th down. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. Complete out of the backfield, looking for the sticks. And they knock him down, but he got past the line to gain.
And that is the advantage of having versatility at the running back position, right? It's 4th down. Everyone in the stadium thinks he's going to get the handoff, but because of his ability to catch the football, he's a weapon in the passing game. And on a critical down and distance like that, comes up with a huge first down.
He caught it. They will score. Touchdown, Beavers.
one of the reasons this offense is so exciting to watch. They've got guys that are dangerous after the catch. And if this quarterback gets through his progression, David, gets you in stride, these guys will take it to the house.
Man, it's your job to do the rest, right? You hit me in stride where I don't have to stop running. I don't have to break down. It makes it so easy. The connection between quarterback, wide receiver, you can tell this is a good one, and that's why they got 6 on that play.
And the extra point was good. And after the extra point was good, it's even Steven here in the second quarter. The kickoff unit is out there, and boy, did that last drive quiet this crowd. Fielded in the end zone. It's Stewart. Slips through the line. He's got an alley. Wide open, and it's a foot race. They won't get him. It's a touchdown.
I'll tell you, you're lucky if you're watching a college football game and you see one return for a touchdown. That's now his second of the game. This guy is absolutely lethal. He's shown you his open field running ability. He's shown you his speed. I'll be shocked if anybody kicks his way the rest of this game and the rest of the season.
They'll try to add another to their lead. And with the extra point, the score is now 21-14. Those opportunities, those returns like that can be such game changers, and everyone was right on point, and he took it to the house. And it'll be a touchback. The ball will come out to the 25-yard line. This one in play, first snap of the drive from the 25. Looks as if they didn't get it off in time. It'll be a delay of game. They'll decline that penalty, obviously very happy with the results of the play. To the air, it's Murphy. Zings it complete to the right.
I love offenses and quarterbacks that are willing to take the easy stuff. Take those easy throws that are guaranteed to get positive yards. Yeah, I'm going to take big shots down the field too. But don't forget, it's easier to pick up 2nd and 5, 3rd and 5 than it is when we start getting those long yardage situations.
They'll line up for a 2nd down play. Single back formation, and they give it to him. And he runs into a wall, maybe got it back to the line of scrimmage.
And that's why he is an All-American caliber player. He is just so physical and dominant against the run. He's able to shed blockers, use his athleticism, use his speed, get to the ball carrier and bring him down. Simply one of the best box defenders you're going to find in the entire country.
Opportunity on 3rd down as the defense knocks it free, and 4th down is coming up. And the Beavers send out the punt unit. This will be the 2nd time they've had to kick it away. All the way back to the 15. And he's going to get it up to about the 29-yard line before he's brought down. Let's see what they have dialed up as this drive starts from the 29-yard line. They go to the ground. Breaks into the open. Ripping off a pretty good chunk of yardage. They've got it out to the 41 with a 1st down.
It really shows you his skills on that last run. And I feel like today, if you're a running back at Oregon, you are expected to be explosive. You're not going to be a guy that goes in between the tackles and gains 3 yards, and that's okay. I feel like now, today, because of all the great running backs they've had here recently, if you get into the second level, you're expected to go to the house. This guy has that kind of skill.
It is so good for an offense early in the game to get in a rhythm and to start stringing first downs together. It makes the game really easy and puts that defense in a situation where...
And the ball comes out. What a disastrous play. Recovered by the defense, and he's off. Touchdown, Oregon State. How about this defense taking one back to the house?
It's really hard as a quarterback because you got your eyes downfield. You're trying to find an open guy. You're trying to negotiate the rush, and all of a sudden people are swatting at the ball. They hit you. They knock it out. Got to do a better job next time of keeping two hands on the ball so you don't get it scooped and scored like what happened right there.
And they tacked on the extra point. The scoop and score. What a lift it can give to the defense. Not content to get the ball. They wanted to do something with it, and they did. All tied up and just about set to kick it away. From inside his own 15, trying to follow his blockers. Needed just a little more help to turn that into a big return. They'll mark him down at the 29. They'll get this drive started from the 29. Moore to the air. Extending the play. And with not much doing downfield, he found his parents open in the stands and threw it to them.
A nice job by the quarterback there. You're outside the pocket, nobody's open, so you throw the ball away knowing that you still have more chances to get this first down.
Working well behind the sticks on second down. Wide receiver comes in motion. They'll run play action. Fires left. Pulls it in. And the explosiveness, the big gainer gets it to the 49-yard line. It's not just the dual threat guy. You go back to Dan Fouts or Bill Musgrave or even Justin Herbert, and passers not in short supply for the Ducks.
And when you think about the Ducks, you always think about the fancy uniforms. I think that's one of the first things that come to mind, but the guys you just named, it's been built on flash, but it's also been built on substance. Great players in their tradition, in their history, and just like now, just the recent history, Bo Nix, another one of those guys that's put up big numbers.
The Ducks can really attack on this second and short. Power football with the run. Stop is made at the 36. Let's call it a 5-yard gain and a first down.
I'll tell you, this running back, he is running behind an offensive line that is playing in unison right now, doing a great job communicating pre-snap. They're getting hats on hats in the run game.
Looking to throw on first down. That's reeled in. It's Stewart. Brought down at the 26-yard line after a pickup of 10 yards on the play, and it'll be a first down. And the Ducks come to the line with a fresh set of downs. From the gun, they'll try the middle. Tough run gets it into the red zone, and they've knocked him down at the 17.
And a nice job by the running back, finding space, getting downhill, making the good run. Great job finishing with his pads.
The Ducks with myriad options after that big pickup on first down. Trying to run, it's Hughes. They get him down, but he was driving his way and gets it down to the 7-yard line.
Well, the defense is on their heels right now. They're going to have to find a way to stop this guy. When he's got a head of steam, boy, he is hard to bring down.
The Ducks are threatening on first and goal. They'll try to get it in with the run. Touchdown, Ducks! Two-step wrap, two-step squeeze. See what you hit what you see, bring your feet. Yeah, none of that happened.
Yeah, those are all great things to keep in mind, but you're also trying to tackle another grown man against his will and get him on the ground. And by the way, he wasn't having it.
Lining up to tack one more onto that lead. And the extra point is true, and they're on top by 7. They marched 72 yards, and he found his way to the end zone from the 7 to cap it. Kickoff unit is out there again, and this crowd is feeling themselves after that last drive. The ball bounces through the end zone, and it will be a touchback. Let's see if they can get something going here late in the half. Looking to throw, it's Murphy. And this will be incomplete. A big hit there forces second down.
And that's your goal. Separate man from ball. Try to get your shoulder in there on the catch point and really give him something to think about. Physically jar that football and knock it out. Nice job by the defender.
Plenty of work to do here on second and long. Wants to go up top. Using the back as a receiver on the screen. That one could really put this drive into high gear as they have a first down at the 37. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Looking downfield on first down. Oh, what a play! It's intercepted. Going the other way, and he's got room. He's at the 20. And he's going to take it all the way back. Touchdown, Oregon! Look, I know it's only the second quarter, but we're starting to see a pretty significant gap develop between these two teams right now.
No doubt. When your defense is scoring, your offense is scoring, good things happening for your ball club. This defense on point, reading their scouting report, making big plays.
And they stay on target with the extra point, up 35-21. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. Starts from their own 25-yard line. Looking to throw, it's Murphy. And wings it incomplete.
Yeah, I don't know if the quarterback got confused on first down. He might have thought the defense was going to be in man coverage that time, but they were in zone. They fooled him and just didn't seem like he had his eyes in the right place, was forcing that ball to his intended target. The window way too small. The guy was not open, so that didn't have that chance to be complete.
Second down, they'll go to the air. This time it's complete. And he won't quite get there, but boy, after that pickup, just a few inches to go for the first, an array of possibilities here. How can a stadium this size make so much noise? You can't hear yourself think on third down here in Autzen. Snagged in the middle, it's Hankerson. They'll get him on the ground at the 46, and it'll be a first down.
There's got to be a sense of urgency for this offense right now. They're trailing. They're going to be kicking off to open the second half. So they need points. They need to go tempo. Maybe that last first down gets them a little bit in.
Oh, they knock it free. It's as if that ball had a magnet going back to the offense. How in the world did they keep it? I don't know if it was luck or aggression or just a fortuitous bounce, but at least they've got the ball back.
Well, one thing I do know, Reese, this running back has got to do a better job with ball security. You cannot turn the football over and expect to win this game. They're very lucky they were able to jump on top of that one.
The Beavers in a good spot here with 2nd and short. Back to pass. Gets it out quickly. There he goes. Just what they were looking for, and he's got him set up in business at the 35 with a first down.
And that was a nice throw by the QB. When you see that drag route coming across the field, how about putting the ball right on his numbers? Not high, not low, where he has to stop his momentum. Right on the numbers where he can catch it, keep running, and chew up some yards after the catch.
It misses. 2nd down.
So now it's 2nd and long. Grab behind the line. It's Clemens. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that.
Well, that receiver's looking at his teammates like, guys, what's up? You're not going to block for me on the screen? Seriously? I mean, I just lost yards on a screenplay. How does that happen?
And that'll bring us to the end of the first half as we head to the studio for halftime. And the Ducks will kick it away first, and we'll start the second half. That one bounds through the end zone, and it'll be a touchback. This one in play, first snap of the drive from the 25. To the air, it's Murphy. Throws to the wideout. Almost intercepted. It'll fall incomplete. The defense almost came up with a turnover.
Well, you can see the frustration on this guy's face. He's one of the best receivers in college football. And they knew coming into this game that he had to get touches. But you can't say enough about how good this defense has been defending him. They've always had an answer, whether it's single coverage, double coverage, man or zone. They have not let him go off, and that's a big reason why they're winning this game.
Almost had the pick there. Would have been his second of the game. Instead, it brings up third down.
There's a lot of QBs that when they get hit and when they get hurried and when they get pressured, they become very average. Really nice job by the defense, pressuring the quarterback.
And this offense can ill afford to come up empty on this drive, already trailing by multiple possessions. All kinds of room to throw that one in there. He'll have enough for the first down, and they stop him at the 45. I don't blame them. They're going to keep working this guy out of the slot until somebody finds a way to stop him.
Yeah, and why wouldn't you? Man, you find a matchup that's working, and you got a guy with this kind of athletic ability in the slot, dude, keep finding him, keep using different routes. So far, the defense doesn't have an answer for him.
After the productive first down play, it's 2nd and 6. They'll run it to the right. And there was nowhere to go, just stopped in his tracks in the backfield.
Man, the momentum is squarely on their side right now. It's starting to feel like they're running away with this one. They scored a touchdown their last time out. Now on this drive here in the third quarter, the defense makes a massive play against the run, creating a negative play. They've got the opponent going backwards.
Makes the grab. They'll move the chains. Good execution on third down. They've got it at the 41.
And I love the awareness by the wide receiver on that play because I'm not sure that route was supposed to be that deep. You got to wonder if the receiver decided maybe to adjust the route a little bit to make sure that he got the first down.
Quarterback floating away from pressure. And he will wisely throw it to the kid playing the tuba.
And how nice is it to have the home crowd going absolutely bananas? Communication is harder. The snapping the football, everybody being on time. Man, this crowd really affecting the football game.
Plenty of distance between them and the sticks here on second down. Looking for a man. It's Murphy. Got rid of it quickly, but it's incomplete.
And how loud is it in this building? This is crazy. These fans are going absolutely nuts. And I used to love when the fans got involved, and I'm on defense, because it messes with the snap count, it messes with the communication, and it can really rattle an offense.
Got a man. They are on the move as they pick up the first down. They'll spot it at the 28.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. This offense had so much success in that first half, so in the third quarter they come out and the quarterback looks like he's still dealing. This has been a really nice drive. That was a really nice throw. Just keep doing what you're doing if you're on offense.
And he never had a chance. Just stopped cold as soon as he got it.
And that just looked off. The timing, the rhythm, I don't know what it was, but usually that option, man, it's so precise, right? Like, really quickly making a read, and you could tell they weren't on the same page. It went absolutely nowhere. Defense won that rep.
And he dropped it. Just didn't look the thing all the way in.
All right, drops are a part of football. It's a part of offense. What's really important for this quarterback now is to come back to the receiver, even after dropping that ball, to show him that you still got confidence in him, and you know it's a long game.
The power of O2 Stadium on full display. The house of loud is deafening on this third down. Complete downfield. The stop is made, but this offense is threatening. First and goal from the 9.
I love that from this offense. 3 is good. You're in field goal range, but now we're set up with first and goal because of great third down execution by this offense. Stay aggressive. Even when you get in this part of the field, when everything shrinks and gets a little bit harder, you still want to be aggressive.
First and goal, and a great opportunity to slice into this lead. They'll try to get it in with the run. He's brought down at the 7-yard line, and they are threatening to take it in.
And a lot of times the defense is focused on the middle, right? Bring more big bodies into the red zone. Don't let them run the football. Offense tries to do the opposite. Get outside. Get their speeds to the football. Had a little bit of success, but nice job by this defense.
These fans raising the volume on second and goal. To the air, it's Murphy. Big fella moving. And into the end zone he goes. Touchdown, Beaver! Field shrinks, tight end grows. Big targets, big results.
I've never heard it put that way, but you're dang right. That guy is so big. A lot of times you get a DB matched up on him. He can just post him up. A linebacker, he can run by him. So that's why these tight ends are so dangerous down here in this red zone.
PAT unit on the field. They tack on the extra point, and they're down a touchdown, 35-28. That is what they mean when they say ball control, a 14-play touchdown drive. And they close the deal with the 7-yarder for the score. The kickoff unit is out there, and boy, did that last drive quiet this crowd. He'll bring it out. It's Benson. Stopped at the 29, but found a little running room after coming out of the end zone. Let's see what they have dialed up as this drive starts from the 29-yard line. They'll move the tight end. Off the play fake on first down. Finds his tight end. Turning it on! They make the stop, but this passing game does some damage, and they move the sticks with the first down.
And that's why play action is going to be big in this game. You saw how it just freezed the second level of that defense just for a second and allowed the tight end to work himself vertically down the field. But how about this guy after the catch, right? So hard to bring down. What a weapon.
Missed his receiver there. It's incomplete.
I don't know about the decision that time by the quarterback. He may have been expecting man coverage, but that time the defense was in zone, and they did a really nice job closing the window. The intended target was not open, and that's why that one fell incomplete.
And this D needs more of that, man. This is a really close football game, and you got to get these stops down the stretch and meet the physical challenge of this offense, and they do right there, man. And that's one step closer to getting this football back and maybe making this thing a football game.
Moore will throw. Shoots it to the left. Right on the money to the outside. He dragged the toe, and how about the ball placement? Only the receiver could get it. Third down, a lot of times it comes down to not necessarily who's the most open, who do you trust the most?
Yeah, it's not about the X's and the O's. It's about the Jimmies and the Joes. And when my guy's better than you and I get you matched up out wide, and I know I trust you, I'm finding it.
Creates a little space. Turning on the Jets. And he'll take it to the house. He got loose. Touchdown, Ducks. They've extended this lead, guys, but sometimes in a rivalry game, you get down and you fight back that much harder.
Man, you've seen crazy comebacks and crazy swings of momentum in rivalry games. You just need that first thing to break your way.
And I think it really comes down to their key playmakers, David. They can come back, but these guys need to take ownership. Now's the time. In this type of game, they have got to step up and start making plays.
Drive starts from their own 25-yard line. To the air on first down. Grab through the middle. It's Walker. They stop him just a link or two short of the first, and man, what they can do on second down here.
Really nice job by the quarterback understanding I needed to throw this ball hard. Like, I got to fit it in there tight. And a nice job by the wide receiver wearing it, because he really didn't have a choice, because he was going to wear that one regardless.
And he'll get it up to the 38. It'll be a first down.
It's not a flashy play call, but that is exactly what it was designed to do. Get 2 yards, get the first down.
It's 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line. Red pass, it's complete. They were able to make the completion, but he had to pick his way for just a little bit. Needed a little more help to spring him for some yardage.
Yeah, if you're going to have success when you throw it outside like that, you're going to need some more blocking and better blocking downfield. Give the defense credit, though. They were able to rally and made a tackle.
Halfway there on first down, it's 2nd and 5. Wide receiver going in motion. Dropping back, it's Murphy. Floats it out in space. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage.
I like the play call on offense. I like you trying to get the running back involved in the pass game, too. Defense was ready for that one. Let's see what you got dialed up on third.
How can a stadium this size make so much noise? You can't hear yourself think on third down here in Autzen.
And how about that third down? They go 5 wide. They'd spread the defense out. And at quarterback there, you're just trying to find your best one-on-one matchup. You're making a quick throw, and you're picking up the first to keep the drive going.
The Beavers are marching down the field. They'll move the wide receiver. Wants to throw on first down. Got his man on the right. Nice gain on that play, but a little bit short of the first down.
And I think this receiver's forte is his route running. He's a guy that can line up all over the field, but it's not just catching post routes and goes. This guy can run shallows, he can run slants, he can run the option routes and find soft spots in the defense. This guy really has all the routes in his toolbox.
Setting up the screen. And the defense able to drag him down, but not before. They'll recycle that down marker.
Nice job by the receiver on the back end there, too. He sees his quarterback on the run moving, and he just works to get himself open to give his guy a place to throw the football. They're able to connect, and they keep the drive going.
And the Beavers with the 1st and 10. Oh, he was in the backfield immediately. A 3-yard loss.
And after your defense just went out there and gave up a touchdown and let them build the lead more, you really need to come out with this drive and answer. And the running game is not in. They were ready for that. Going to have to create some explosive plays to the passing game.
Not many hiccups on this drive, but it's 2nd and 13 now. They're working that left side. And he's brought down after a nice gain.
You know, the defense doesn't have an answer for this slot guy right now, and they may want to think about bracketing him, having a defender play to the outside and to the inside, probably some sort of zone coverage where you're trying to get 2 bodies, forcing the quarterback to have to go somewhere else with the ball.
One more quarter to go, and it looks as if we are ready to play. So 1st down will open up the final period. Wants to adjust the pattern. Trying to turn the corner on the right. He stopped at the 14-yard line, and they'll stay on the attack from there.
It's always fun to watch offensive creativity in the red zone. Like, how are you going to get some space for your guy? They try the toss, get him out wide, maybe get into some space. The defense was ready. Nice job falling forward, getting at least a little bit on the play.
Looking for a man. It's Murphy. And he was hit just as he released it, and it falls to the turf.
And this offensive line's got to do a little better job, man. You've got to give your quarterback time to go through his progressions from go to 1 to 2 and then maybe make a play. If he goes off of his first target, you can tell he did not have much time getting hit as he's trying to throw the football. You've got to protect your quarterback.
And he'll take it in and house it. Touchdown, Oregon State. Well, if the momentum hadn't shifted before, it certainly has now.
It has, and now you got some game pressure, right? That's beautiful. Now the defense comes out, get you a stop, get aggressive, but the offense a little bit of pressure now because they know if the ball goes back to the other side, they could lose this ball game.
Getting set for the point after. And the PAT will draw them 1 point closer. They put it in the end zone with a 12-play scoring drive. And they top it off with a 14-yard pass for the touchdown. So after getting into the end zone in that last drive, they're set to kick it away. He'll bring it out. It's Stewart. He's brought down at the 16. Would have been much better off to take the touchback. A lot of work to do as this drive will start from the 16-yard line. First play of the drive, wants to throw. Unloads to the wideout. Wide open downfield. All by himself down the middle. Touchdown, Oregon! He got a step and just dusted the field. It's as if the Duck has hopped on that motorcycle and is revving the engine, and Oregon is threatening to drive away.
And Oregon's a team that, man, when they get it going, a lot of times they're just so hard to stop. The swag gets rolling. The uniform always looks good. But Oregon State's going to have to find something in this rivalry.
They need a big play, and they need it right now. The Beavers need to to be able to slow down this runaway train that is the Oregon Ducks right now.
And the extra point is true, and they have a 2-touchdown lead, up 14 in the fourth. They're set to kick it off. Do you think this crowd's going to get loud when their defense comes on the field? And it'll be a touchback. The ball will come out to the 25-yard line. They'll put this one in play. First snap of the drive from the 25. QB draw. Crosses the 30 to the 31, a 6-yard gain.
You want to make play calling easy for an offensive coordinator? Run the ball like that every play. I mean, when you can run that on first down and set up a short yardage on second down, it makes play calling easy. Every single call on that sheet is available here on second down.
The Beavers with a second and short to keep this drive moving. Back to throw, it's Murphy. Tosses it incomplete.
Missed opportunity on offense. QB and receiver just not on the same page there.
The power of Autzen Stadium on full display. The house of loud is deafening on this third down. The short hands, it's Fox. They'll keep this drive moving by picking up the first down. They have it at the 36.
Well, trailing like they are right now in the fourth quarter, their execution offensively is just going to have to be at a premium. You can't afford a lot of incompletions at this point. Everybody is going to need to be on the same page moving forward.
The Beavers will snap it on 1st and 10. Looking to throw on first down. Catch in the middle. It's Hankerson. All down, but he has enough to move the chains. When your best is demanded on a big stage like this against a rival, he has delivered, cracking the 150-yard mark.
No doubt about it. What do we say? Big-time players make big plays in big games. The games don't get bigger than this for this team right here, and this guy, David, has shown up today.
And it's so nice as a coach to have that dude that you know you can count on. He'll put up big numbers, and he's been carrying this offense.
I think at this point of the game now in the second half, down by as many points as they are, it's going to be really hard for the offense to sprinkle in the run. They tried it there. It didn't work. I think you got to be thinking about the passing game now and start trying to identify playmakers out on the perimeter of the field that can get you back in this game.
And the Beavers have put themselves in dire straits after that last play. It's 2nd and a mile. Throws for the tight end. He's got it. Really putting together a threat now. They get the first. It's at the 37.
And this offense is going to have to be aggressive, right? Down a couple possessions. Got to continue to get these first downs. Move quick. Don't be in a hurry. But they've got to keep the accelerator down because they need some explosive plays.
The give to the tailback. Oh, he's got some space. Nice pickup on the ground there, and they'll move the sticks with the first down.
Every offense wants to be able to run the ball and be physical, especially on first down. And you want to create 2nd and short, 3rd and short, or just get first downs like that run right there.
The Beavers kept this drive moving on the ground. Now back to work. They're looking to pass from the red zone. Caught behind the line. It's Hankerson. That one takes it down to the 13-yard line. You can hand it to him. You can throw it to him. Either way, he's making his presence felt.
Those are your favorite plays, Reese, the him plays, right? They're finding ways to get him the ball because he can make plays, whether it's running or receiving out of the backfield. They're going to continue to highlight this guy.
Dropping back, it's Murphy. Makes the grab. That completion will take it close to the 5-yard line. They'll mark it at the 6.
Well, down 2 possessions. Good news is you get the completion. Bad news, though, did not get out of bounds. You know right now, saving the clock, that is at a premium for this offense.
They'll run it on 1st and goal. Knocked down in the backfield, and boy, this guy's had a good day, but they finally get to him on that run.
Well, this guy's been an animal all game long. He's had tons of success running the football. The defense had to do something to stop him. Give the D-line and that front 7 tons of credit for being really physical there, getting the TFL.
Defense rose up deep in its own end on that last play. Now a 2nd and long coming. Looking to fire. Quickly out on the screen to the wide receiver. That completion will take it inside the 4, and the offense is threatening.
Man, what a really nice job by being disciplined by this defense. Like understanding I'm trying to rush the passer, probably a passing situation type of a deal, but doing it with some discipline. They try to sneak the screen in. They were ready for it. Nice job by this defense.
And they'll try to fight a chunk out of this lead on 3rd and goal. Looking to throw. Makes the catch. And they take it in for 6 more points. Well, how about that? And after that touchdown, we might have a finish after all, Jesse.
I love it, Reese, and this team is not quitting. Yeah, they're down on the scoreboard right now, but they are clawing and they are scratching their way back in this game. They're going to keep going hard until this clock reads all zeros.
He'll try to tack on one more. And with the extra point, every little bit counts as they get closer. They put it in the end zone with a 12-play scoring drive. And they finished it off with the score from the 4. They're getting set to kick it away, and that last score took a little oomph out of this crowd. Fielded in the end zone, it's Stewart. Tackled at the 24 and almost breaks even with the yardage he would have gotten with a touchback. They'll snap the ball. First play of the drive coming from their own 24. Moore to the air. Get it out on the screen. And the defense had that one well covered, just a short gain there.
And so many things have to come together perfectly for a screen to work for big yardage. And they were close. You could tell that almost busted, but they just got wrapped up, got a little bit of yardage, but they really wanted that one to be a big gainer.
Backed up now, here's 2nd and long. They want that clock to run. Got enough for the first down. Breaks into the open. At the 30. Inside the 10. Touchdown, Ducks! How about this back staying on track and getting it in on the option? You know they love their track at Oregon, and when the gun goes off and he hits open field, he is headed to the tape, and he was burning by the time he hit the end zone.
And they've had guys year after year with serious track speed. They'll get to the small runs, lull you to sleep, and then boom, they make those big plays because they got big-time playmakers with speed and running back.
And that kick was perfectly down the middle. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. The drive starts from their own 25-yard line. Looking downfield, it's Murphy. Whoa, does he turn that loose down the middle. Finds a spot in the middle. They'll get it to the 48. No need to measure. It's a first down.
And with that pass right there, dude, he goes over 350 on the day. Nice performance. This QB's been dialed in.
Ripped off a chunk on the opening play of this drive. Now it's first down from the 48. Quarterback stands alone, all wide receivers. Wants to go up top on first down. Makes the grab. It's Clemens.
It's always interesting how people handle late game. Like, you know this game is over. There's not a lot to gain from it, but some people try to throw the ball deep and continue to make plays. They throw it short. The clock's running out, and there's not a lot to talk about that's going to be positive for this offense.
The Beavers can play this second down a lot of ways with just a few yards to go. Catch in the middle. It's Clemens. They make the stop, but he'll have enough yardage for a first down.
Well, this offense knew coming into this game they wanted to try to attack the middle of the field in the passing game, and they're able to execute the in route there.
And the Beavers come to the line with a new set of downs. Quarterback running on the draw. All the way down to the 25-yard line. They move the sticks. It's first down.
Well, I don't know what the quarterback saw on that last play, but he made a pretty quick decision that he was just going to tuck it and run it, and his offensive coordinator is glad he did. How about the speed by the QB on that play?
They've got it first and 10 from the 25. Looking to throw on first down. Grab near the sticks. It's Hankerson. They'll spot the ball at the 12 after that completion. They might have the defense's head spinning a little bit now. Hit them with a big run, now they hit them with a big pass.
Man, it's so hard to defend both. You know that. Which coverage do I want to put? Do I put more people in the box to stop the run? When you've got this kind of balance on offense, the defense can't be right.
He was open, he had it, and he dropped it. Would have been a touchdown. Instead, it's second down. It'll be second down, and remember, they can pick up a first without scoring. To throw, it's Murphy. Caught in the backfield, it's Hankerson. They'll get it down to the 8-yard line on that throw and catch, and the defense is backed up against the wall.
Well, it's important in this game this offense gets the running back involved out in the perimeter in space where he can do some damage. That time they got it to him throwing the football. He picked up a couple of yards, but it gives the defense something to think about.
Not a lot of ground to cover and not much to defend. A big third down in the red zone. From the gun, wants to pass. It's complete. Give him 6 and give them a chance with the late touchdown still alive in this one.
Well, the good news is you scored a touchdown. You've made this a one-possession game. The bad news is you got to get the ball back. So if you're the head coach, you got to start thinking, how are we going to do that? Are we going onside kick, or do we trust our defense to give it back to the O?
They'll try to tack one more on their score. And it's up and good as they draw just a touch closer. So a well-executed 8-play, 75-yard drive. Just over 30 seconds to play. They'll line up for the onside kick, and they've got to get it to have a shot. Cool as a cucumber as the hands team makes a sure catch.
Yeah, and this is why you put your hands team on the field most of the time when you know it's coming, and you put those guys that are great catchers of the football. The first guys, what do? They go block. They go blow somebody up. The next guys catch the football, secure it, get your butt on the ground. And most of the time when you do this, the ball game is over.
Give to the running back. And that's a very productive first down play and bringing up 2nd and 3. The defense will take a timeout. 25 seconds left to play. The Ducks can really attack on this 2nd and short. Looking for a gap. It's Hughes. And and just wedges it ahead a bit before he's brought down. Timeout is called by the defense. A mere 21 seconds to go here. The Ducks are at the line looking to convert on 3rd and short. On 3rd and short, the run and looking for the first down.
Really nice job by the running back here in the 4th quarter, picking up that first down. They need him now. They've got the lead, but not by a lot. Late in the game, they need him to play his best football at a moment in the game when everything is on the line.
The quarterback takes a snap and takes a knee. So as they've done so many times in this in-state rivalry, it is the Ducks who outlast the Beavers. That will put the wrap on things from here. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis. You've been watching another presentation of EA Sports College Football. There is nothing greater than a rivalry game unless you lose it. And in that case, there is nothing more miserable.
I agree, Reese. And that's why rivalry games are so great, because you take the stats, and you take the rankings, and you take the records, and you throw it all out the window. There's always tremendous effort and passion when we see these rivalry games. We certainly saw it today. And David, for this losing team, this one's going to sting for a while.
It does, but it's so strange because I always feel the same way. I'm like, there's no chance that they have a chance to upset them. But then you go, it's a rivalry game. The vitriol, the hate, it's already there. And so it means so much in sports. Who's motivated for these games? So you do get up. It does become a good game, even when it's not a good game on paper.
Thanks so much for spending some time with us. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis, and this has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.